What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 109, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday. I am Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
Hello, hello.
Todd Broussard.
Hello.
We got the 3-mic setup working again.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It was literally one screw that we had to fix. Bought a whole nother mic stand. Waste of money.
We just can't fit 4 people
yeah.
right now. So.
Just need a new table now.
And we need a new room,
Yeah,
is
that's
what we
true.
actually
That's true.
need. I don't know how big the room looks to people who have not seen it. It's very teeny, so.
It's not gigantic.
Lots of news this week. A lot of stuff to go over.
Yep.
Lots of interesting stuff. Some theories that we can probably pull from some of the news as well. I do want to say that I am working hard to get streaming going for this channel. Not anything crazy, but maybe once or twice a week going on there. I'm working on some overlays and some, alerts for Twitch and stuff. So that's going to be at twitch.tv/pressx_YT for YouTube. Because somebody stole Just Press X, and I was very upset about it.
That sucks.
But anyway, that's where it's all going to be going down. I will do a update video or something when I'm ready to announce exactly what games and what schedule I'll be following for that. And I'm sure we'll have some fighting games and stuff going on there as well, with us both playing. So that'll be fun. But with that said, let's jump into what we've been playing. Nick, we'll start with you.
Honestly, I think Todd and I can probably just tag team this because we have both been playing the same fighting games. I think I missed last week, so I have been back into Tekken, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. I also added Final Fantasy Dissidia in T this week as well, a little bit. I didn't bring that. I didn't bring that with me because I'm still learning it myself, and that's not it's not as easy to bring and play on one screen sort of game.
It's the most complicated fighting game
yeah.
I've ever played in my life. The controls change depending on the game mode. It is way too much.
I think I've got 2 hours in the tutorial, so that's why I didn't bring it. Because if I can't learn it quick enough, very deep into the tutorial, the advanced tutorials and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I felt like if I wasn't comfortable with it, I couldn't bring it and be like, "Hey guys, here's how you play," sort of thing. So, for the most part, though, sticking to Street Fighter and Dragon Ball FighterZ. I guess I'll start with Street Fighter. It's way better. I left off even before Season 1 of DLC. It's way better than the base original version. It feels like a complete game now, 3 years after it comes out. It's really awesome. I like all the characters, and I like the things that they did with it. They added a bunch of new stages, new costumes, all that stuff, so they squeeze money out of you left and right for sure, but it feels nice because there's just a lot more to the game. It feels like quadruple the size of...
Is this the finished one? Or are they still going to be adding stuff?
Their plan is to literally...
seasons,
their plan is to literally go through 2020.
It's ridiculous.
Because they want to end up having the biggest roster of Street Fighter characters, but it's just going to take them a while, obviously. Yeah. But now with this current season, they're on 3. They're re-releasing the traditional awesome characters like Sagat, Blanca, Sakura. So they're getting away from hey, here's this new guy you don't care about, which is kind of what got people down in the dumps through Season 2. But yeah, it's it's back on an upswing. The Arcade Edition was a free upgrade for people who already had 5, so that was nice. So you got all the new features and all the new stuff for free. That's way easier than trying to convince someone to spend $40, $60 extra on the thing that they already bought, sort of thing. But brought it last week, brought it again this week. Played Todd a lot. I think we were playing while you and Kellen were filming last week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't have to edit out some screams and laughter and whatnot from us playing downstairs. Had some really sweet matches. I'm learning 2 or 3 people, just trying not to go nuts and learn 10 and suck at them all. So having fun with that. It's nice. It's nice to come back to it and be finally got the full version that I wanted years ago.
It definitely feels revitalized.
Yeah.
As Nick was saying, they added a new V trigger for all the characters, which is their kind of special thing every character does. So they added a new version of that, and it makes every old character feel kind of new, which is really nice. So.
And on top of that, like I said, we were playing Dragon Ball FighterZ as well. So good. It got me. A reason I didn't play as many games this week is because I went and watched Dragon Ball Super just because that's all the game, show, series, whatever it is just pure hype. So as soon as you do one, you got to do the other sort of thing. So in a very big Dragon Ball mood right now. Really liking the characters, trying to find, like, I'm past the point where, okay, I know how to play the game, now I want to get good at the game, which is hard because every single one of the games that I mentioned and the fighting games that were already out, like Tekken and Injustice and stuff like that, are all very unique. Like, you can't carry many skills from one game to another other than basic, like, blocking and movement sort of things. But even
Tekken is the worst one for that because it screws up blocking.
Yeah.
Because Tekken tells you not to hit a button while you're getting attacked. And every other game, that's not how you block. Right.
And obviously with something like Dragon Ball Fighters, you're mashing L1, L2 to bring in assistance and stuff like that. So it's hard to get out of the mindset of, okay, how can my character beat that character? It's how can I beat that character but avoid this guy jumping in, shooting a laser beam, this super that chains into that super. Like, there's just a bunch of chaos. But that's probably, Dragon Ball is probably the most fun fighting game to watch. Like, watching it and playing it are about equal, just because it's just all the craziness that goes on. Obviously, if you're watching Tekken, like, you're more of like an analytical sort of thing, like you're watching technical moves, whereas Dragon Ball is just like stuff all over the place.
Super colorful. The game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely the prettiest fighting
It's like
game
right out of the anime, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool how it's like a love letter to the anime, whether it's Z or current Super stuff or some of the movies with these rumored DLC people coming out. It's nice because you can see like panels straight out of the manga and the anime and animations and stuff like that, and the things they're saying is just like straight out of the show. So it's really cool that they did that, and the amount of detail that's in the game is probably the most impressive part, on top of like the smooth 60 frames and the graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
my favorite part of it is the backgrounds mesh with the foreground, which is always a problem that 2D fighters have, where the backgrounds always look like they drew them and then they're duller colors and everything, so your characters pop on this. And this one, they're like, we made it look like they belong there, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and there's like these cool stage transitions and like destructive finishes, and I don't know, really just like the size.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't like it technically. Like I like Blaze Blue better and Persona better, but watching it is fun. I definitely enjoy. It's very, very, very pretty. Like, it reminds me of Cuphead.
Yeah,
I just like looking at this game.
I've been playing this a lot this week. Yeah, and I kind of agree with Nick. I got to the point where I like stopped learning all the basics. I've been trying to like learn combos and like what team I like. And this is one of the first fighting games where I think I like every character. Like, they're all just super fun to play. None of them have a big moves list, but
I feel like 2D. Well, maybe not 2D in general, but the Arc system games are good at that.
Yeah.
They're good at making every character is similar enough to each other that they don't feel like overwhelming, but they're different enough to be unique.
Yeah, but like, really, I watched like they had like a local tournament with some like big gamers like Echo, Fox, and stuff like that playing, and just like watching them play, I'm like, holy crap, this game's like a lot deeper than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, and it's really cool because like there's basically about 70% the same move list, sort of like you said. So I mean, all of it is revolving around like quarter circle turns and just back and forward and stuff like that, and just 4 buttons for the most part. And jumping between something like that and Tekken, where every little like ounce of the joystick that you move affects everything, and timing is got to be perfect in Street Fighter, which is like a comfortable middle ground for a lot of that. You can kind of screw up, but you can also mash buttons and stuff like that and get to where you need to go. It's nice. I like how unique everything is, so you can sort of put it in like a certain mood where if you just want to spam stuff, or if you want to play with people who just want to be casual and just mash buttons and can get cool supers, then Dragon Ball is your game. And if you find someone who's been playing fighting games for a long time, you can bounce between Tekken and Street Fighter and stuff like that. So
I like that it says Meet Knack on the box art from Knack 2.
Yeah.
It's like, people probably didn't play.
Yeah, and I've got to look at it this whole time.
Well, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Other than that, it's just going to be fighting games for the next couple of days, and then when we get into what releases next week, maybe something will change.
Okay. So I've been going through Ys more. I put a couple more hours into it. I really want to dedicate a lot of time to it this coming week and maybe finish it, or at least get to the end game sections of it. I'm enjoying it just as much as I have been. It did throw me for a curveball a little bit because I thought I figured out the gameplay loop, and then it's like, nope, now it's this. Nope, now it's this. There's a lot of variety in it that I wasn't expecting. There was one thing that I thought was going to be annoying, and it's like, it's optional. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And it's
Ding.
made me do it 3 times so far. And I'm like, that's not optional. But it hasn't been an issue yet. So that's good. There's like sort of a tower defense thing going on, but it hasn't been so overwhelming or difficult that I'm like, I don't even want to do this. They've been pretty simple, and I think the optional ones are the hard ones. Like, if you enjoyed it, here's some more difficult stuff. So I've been going through that. Obviously, Fortnite, can't stop playing it. I think this is the week where I start slowing down. I've almost hit my goal of unlocking a particular tier. I think I was tier like 40-something last week. I'm 52 right now, so I'm getting there. There's 70 in total, and there's like 17 days left in the season, so I should hit that. They added a new item, which was awesome. They added a minigun to the game, which uses light ammo, which is nice because I don't use any other guns that use light ammo. So this is just the perfect end game item for me to pick up, and it doesn't reload, and it just shreds through bases, basically. So all those personal forts that people build at the end, now you can just tear them down completely really quickly, and that's really fun. I've only played one game since it came out, and I won it like very convincingly. It was an awesome, probably my best match I've had. So really like.
Seems like it'd be really good in that part too. I guess the second map or second area that they added with that warehouse that I say it looks like a Tom Clancy sort of setup.
Oh, the Tilted Towers.
Yeah. It looks like it would just mow down anyone.
If you have the ammo for it, yeah. That's why it's good end game, is because you pick up everybody's ammo that you've killed. Early on, you don't have that much ammo for it, but it's really fun and it just mows things down. I watched The Inpatient. I did not play it. I looked at reviews, and the controls seem bad on it, which is a problem for VR specifically. From a company that I thought knew what they were doing, and now I'm questioning if they know what they're doing, and it's a little scary. They have Bravo Team coming out in a month. I hope that one hits. We'll have to see. I am going to get Inpatient still. I'm just waiting for the discount. Because it's 2 to 3 hours, and it's just not the full experience I thought it was going to be for the price that they're charging.
Sure.
It seems to me like they should have charged $20, like their last Until Dawn VR spinoff that was awesome with Rush of Blood. Next up, played a little bit of Friday the 13th, added a new map, which is once again similar to all the old maps. They're all forest with the houses. Like, they need to add Jason X, like the spaceship, or do something like, Manhattan for Jason Takes Manhattan. Like, they need to add an area that is not forest with houses. And they need to put up updates faster because they're very slow to update. They also added Part 5 Jason, which is cool to add a new Jason. But they realized that people, I think it's because they took out Friendly Fire, now the only thing to harass is Jason. And Jason's not, like, more people escape now than die. And that's not how they wanted the game. So they buffed Jason considerably. They made him faster. They made it so his grab is more accurate. They gave it so that he has 2 extra throwing knives in the beginning of the game than he used to. So they really buffed him up because people were basically knocking down Jason and then like teabagging, and then he'd get up and they'd knock him down and they'd teabag him again. And like it was getting to the point where people didn't want to play as Jason anymore.
That's not how the movies go.
Yeah, so they're trying to fix that, which is funny. I really do still want the Friendly Fire back on, but what can you do?
They should at least have like a mode where you can
like
go
a
in.
hardcore mode or something?
Yeah, and you can just enter in, and it'll pop up and say, hey, Friendly Fire is on now. Oh, do you accept? Yeah.
They're working on another game mode. They've announced that, and I forget the name of it, but it seems like one of the counselors is secretly working with Jason. And it's going to be like a figuring out who it is type thing. I'm not sure. That's just what it seems like from the promotion that they've added.
That sounds fun.
And they delayed it, and they said it's fun, but it's not fun enough. And most importantly, it's not scary enough. And we're working on it. I know they're a small team, but they made a killing off the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Like, it's $2 million or whatever just from like Kickstarter. And they had donation things on top of that, like GoFundMe type donation, whatever they're called. And on top of that, the game came out physically and was a killing at, digitally when it launched. Like
I get it.
They have money to do stuff, but their biggest thing that they're working on right now is dedicated servers for consoles, because they don't have dedicated servers, and there's a big problem with the host leaving after he dies.
Right.
So they need to do something, and I've said before, Fortnite spoiled, and PUBG spoiled us a little bit in games where you die and then you hop right back into a new match. And I think Friday kind of needs a system like that where you're a counselor, you die, cool, you're into the next match. Like, whatever. That's about it. My other one was Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
Oh, you have been playing it on your own?
No, but just you guys already covered it. My contact's messed up. Do you see my eye watering? It's like twitching. I'm going to go take it out. Hold on. Good enough. Okay. I think I can see now, which is important because I have to read all of these. All right, let's jump into the news. A whole bunch of random stuff, interesting stuff, stuff for us to talk about. So let's start with a Mario movie. This sounds like a bad idea. A Mario movie is in the works at Illumination Studio. Miyamoto is going to be the producer on it, so we at least have some head
authenticity.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Is it
what
live action?
Oh no, it's Illumination. So they are Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Minions.
I think if it's like
Despicable
Minions
Me
with
2,
Mario, I think
Despicable
it'll be
Me
fine.
3.
Yeah.
They also did. I think they did Sing. I'm not 100% sure on that. They did.
They did do Sing because there's a little Minion Sing at the beginning of it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I think they did Sing, and they did Secret Life of Pets. They've done a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
Sing's probably the best one of them. I know people love Despicable Me.
Despicable Me, the first one's like fine.
I don't think so. I thought it was pretty bad. Anyway,
I've watched
regardless
Minions,
of all the studios, Sony's animation studio, better. DreamWorks,
Still to get a Mario game
Better.
on Sony.
Yeah.
sure. DreamWorks, better. The Disney, side animation studio, significantly better. And then Pixar, obviously better.
Pixar Mario movie would be insane.
So we got kind of the worst of the group. This is kind of unfortunate.
I don't think it's the worst. I think Illumination's fine. I think their animation's fine. Like the actual animation is fine.
I think
the stories are kind of
I think
bad.
they make the most childish movies.
Yes.
Sure.
Which is
Just the stories are bad.
which this Mario movie should be for me. I want to watch this Mario movie.
What Mario is for adults?
Yeah, I don't.
Odyssey.
I don't know. That's
One part of one level, maybe.
So what do we think about this? Is Mario going to talk? Is this going to be a good movie? Is this a bad idea?
I don't think it's going to be a good movie. I think it'll be fine.
Think it's going to be like Ratchet and Clank? That was bad.
I thought it was fine.
It wasn't.
I don't see the need for it. Like
Yeah, I don't know why they're
they don't
making
need to promote Mario at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know who out there is just like, man, I need another Mario
I'm sure
movie.
Odyssey did really well with kids, so
Yeah, that's what I'm
Odyssey
saying.
was their best selling.
yeah,
Sure.
So I can see why they would want.
I would go for another live action one, but that seems just like a
Jesus.
movie to just watch with friends and drink.
Yeah.
And watch
I just don't see the appeal. Like, I feel like they might make money on this, sure, but I feel like the only thing this can do is hurt the Mario name. I really don't see this being good at all. I don't know if Mario's going to talk, and if he does talk, that's going to be kind of annoying, I think, unless it's not focused on Mario, and Mario's more like maybe like I don't want to say father as in like an actual father, but more like the mentor in the movie, and there's a new character that we're following or something like that.
I wouldn't mind
a movie following Yoshi. I would dig that.
Yeah.
Another character that doesn't talk.
I wouldn't mind like an anime run of Mario,
Yeah,
so you
that'd be
can
cool.
like go like maybe bounce around to different kingdoms and stuff like that. But I don't know what a 2-hour movie is going to accomplish.
I don't either. It's very strange, but we're getting it. So
I bet I know the plot.
Whatever.
Peach has been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Next up, Mario Kart Tour has been announced. It'll be coming the next financial year, anywhere between April 2018 to March 2019. So that is a long gap. This is going to be a mobile Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
We had Animal Crossing, we had Miitomo, we had Pokemon Go, which wasn't technically part of that. We've had Fire Emblem, we've had Mario Run. So we're getting Animal Crossing. I don't know if I said that, but we're getting Mario Kart. Is going to be, I don't know about next, but it's going to be another.
I'm fine with
big one
that.
we get.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be cool. I guess I don't know. Do you like? I picture it's like a tilt control Mario, kind of like the Wii Mario,
Mm-hmm.
with like auto drive and like a one button to use the item that you get.
I'm cool with that.
And
A
that's the
game like that seems like it's going to destroy my battery on my phone.
Oh, it sounds like I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
Like I have a Switch. If I want to play a mobile Mario
Yeah.
Kart, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
Screen's bigger, probably see better.
Oh,
It looks great.
has
on-
actual buttons.
I'm
and
fine with, like,
controls.
playing
Just
think it'll be
laying in
fun.
bed, like
Yeah. I hope it's not tilt. I hope it's just like a little stick you have on your phone.
oh, those are awful too.
I like those.
Like you like them, or you just prefer them?
I think I don't have a problem with them.
I don't like.
I mean, I prefer having like a controller in my hand, but
I still don't like anything that I can't feel with like some feedback. And they've started doing like the vibration feedback. when you're
yeah,
using
I like the
things,
little
but-
meh.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this is one that was bound to happen. I feel like it's painfully obvious to do. There's plenty of kart racing, Android games and Apple games. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. We'll see. I'm sure it's going to have all the a whole bunch of levels from past Mario Karts.
I don't have a Switch, so I'm fine with this.
Do you think it's going to be like free? And then
Oh, yeah, but I
you
think
only
they'll
get
be-
What do you
certain
charge
number of
for?
races, or do you think it's like
Tracks
$10
or
Cars and
cups?
characters.
you just buy the game? That's the other option.
I think it'll be free, and then they'll have just a bunch of like DLC you can buy, like
Yeah, like buy the mushroom cup and you can buy these 4 tracks sort of thing.
or characters. There's tons of characters. They'll probably give you like 4 characters to choose from,
Or like rotate
and then there's
characters
like
or something.
20 characters that you can buy or something, or different cars you can buy.
I'm going to be honest, all this sounds awful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I'm not excited about it.
Just like the Mario news, it's just
Yeah.
like, why does this exist?
Yeah.
Like, just focus your efforts on a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, they exist for the same reason, and that's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of crappy.
Not excited about the movie. I'm fine with the mobile Mario Kart.
All right, tell me if you're excited about this. Nintendo Switch Online will launch in September. You don't have a Switch, so I guess you're not excited. The service will cost $3.99 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $20 for a year, according to the official Nintendo Switch Online page. It will offer classic titles each month, such as Super Mario Bros. 3, Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, as examples that they used, and it will be adding online support for these games. However, the catch is at the end of the month, those games will be gone.
Yeah.
So you don't get to keep them, and then a new game will be introduced. So that is their online structure, plan, whatever. How do we feel about this news?
I think you get what you pay for, sort of thing. When it says
Yeah.
$20, then I'm just like, I'm not gonna expect much out of this, like
I think this is good.
connectivity wise, but also like things disappearing after
Yeah,
you've been playing them
that's-
for a while and things like that. Like you get what you pay for is what I'm gonna say about that online system.
My immediate thought when he said the $20 a year was this connection's going to be trash.
Well, I mean, it's already like fine. It's the worst of them, but it's fine. It's usable. The things that I would like is features for this. So, like, okay, if you're a member, similar to PlayStation Plus, you get discounts in the store for things that you buy, and you get cloud saving, like cloud storage for your saves and your games and stuff, whatever you want to throw up on the cloud storage. Like, if they give you that, that's awesome. And I actually like the 1 a month thing, 1 game, because then it makes it kind of like a book club. Where it's like, all right, everybody, we're all playing, whatever it is, and then your friends that have Switch and stuff will probably pay more attention to that one game, knowing that it's going to disappear, as opposed to PlayStation Plus. So, like, I have a huge PlayStation Plus backlog. I'm not going to play half of those in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But like the 1 a month, it's going away, makes you want to play it. So.
I definitely like that aspect of it, and it's cool that they're bringing like classic titles in every month. I think
and adding online.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I wish
think
there
that's
was just an extra system like you could pay X amount of dollars and just keep that game.
I would not be surprised if there is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost confident that they will do that. But I like it for the book club aspect of it. That's what I'm going to call it.
It'd be cool if I get a new cardboard cutout to play with every month.
On top of that, this is launching in September.
Yeah.
That's been confirmed. Do we think there's a big Nintendo game coming in September?
Yeah, it's probably got something to do with a Smash game.
That's what everybody thinks. A lot of people think Smash port come in September, online play, gonna need this to play it, and it's going to have whatever new characters, new levels.
I don't know if either of you played it while it was the current hotness, I guess, but Smash for Wii.
Yeah,
that it was online.
Was the worst thing I've
It
ever
was
had.
Never played it.
the worst
Yeah.
thing in the history. Like, that's what I think of when I think $20,
Yeah.
Switch, Smash Online. Like, that's just going through my brain. And I think I just did like a queasy response naturally just because it was garbage.
It was really bad.
So
And we're past that, though. Like, we're
I hope
past
so.
that horrible online. Like, now we're at, it's about average, like, you know, and I think PlayStation and Xbox have really surpassed what they've been doing, probably because they've been charging for so long. Well, particularly Xbox, it's been charging so long to use their online.
I just hope that, or I would wish, I guess, that them having an online system would like nuke the friend code thing, and they would like kind of adapt.
That would be huge too.
That would be
awesome.
very nice if they had just released a
username system,
firmware
Yeah,
update,
cool.
and just said, "Hey, we know you guys aren't in Tokyo, where all your friends are right on top of each other, and everyone's using the same Wi-Fi password. We know you guys are a little bit spread out, so no more friend codes per game." You just have an account now. You have a Nintendo account. Those things that already exist.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, with the Switch, they do have the account system that kind of gets everything together, but you still don't like have a username. You have a dumb code, and all that's, I think, to protect children. I think that was kind of the idea, but like, I don't know. At some point,
sure, but children can't drive the car to the GameStop and buy the $200, $300 machines.
Yeah,
so.
that's fair. So I also think we're going to get a big game. I kind of don't think it's Smash. I just feel like we may have heard that already, but it's possible. Nintendo is really good at being like, and in 3 months this game's coming out and nobody expected or knew.
Like what I said when we were talking about like 2018 predictions, what's going to happen during this year, I said if they don't announce Smash during E3 or whatever event they want to base it around, I know they have their own little feed or direct. If they don't announce it at the start of this year, then it's just going to be a new one. Because they're kind of running out of time between it's like old news to port it over and whatever. So I can't imagine what else. I mean, they just redid their racing Mario Kart game. So that
can't get a new Mario Kart. There could be a new IP.
Sure.
That's an option. Splatoon came out, which I think is their online game, really.
I mean, you're not going to play like Pikmin online. So. I mean, maybe is Metroid going to come this year? But like, would that have like a multiplayer?
I hope not. They did that one multiplayer Metroid, and everybody lost their mind.
I mean, just make it optional, of course. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what else it could be that they really need the competitive multiplayer element for. I mean, they just did Pokken. So yeah, I have no idea what it could be other than Smash.
I agree. I won't be surprised if Smash for the Switch is announced at up to E3. I guess that's how long they have to say something. Or if it just launches.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just that's kind of the date between now and then. Like after that, it just kind of feel like old news. Like, oh yeah, I remember Smash for the Wii U sort of thing.
Yeah. It's also Nintendo. They might just be like, and here it is.
I mean, they are nostalgia masters.
And there's no game. And it's like, okay, whatever. Next up, let's switch it to the PlayStation 4 a bit. So this was just an interesting one that people are kind of running with, and I just want to talk about it a little. PlayStation 4 sales are down in the fourth quarter year over year. Sony's quarterly earnings report last night contained a bit of gray cloud for the long-term plans for PlayStation 4. So basically, the idea of this is that people are thinking it may have plateaued. Like, it's had its highest sale, Christmas time sale, Black Friday time it's going to have. And they were comparing 2016 to 2017 sales, basically. And, like, all this stuff was jumping out at me when I was reading this and hearing people talk about it, and nobody else brought it up, and I was very confused. And that is... the PlayStation 4 Pro came out last, like, the 2016 holiday. Sure. So, like, that's going to boost sales anyway, because there's a new hardware that people are going to be jumping on board.
Right.
Then, on the flip side, for this year, the X came out, and the Switch was available.
Yeah.
So, like, now you have stuff eating at it. So, yeah, it may have plateaued.
I didn't see...
Like, people were saying it like doom and gloom. The numbers were 16 million for... 2016 and 16.9 million for 2016, and 2017's was 16 million.
Yeah.
So less than a million of a drop off with the competitors there. So
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see the graph, but I would imagine it did well in the springtime, and then just kind of how
like
the
Horizon came
and
out,
maybe Persona got a few people and stuff like that. Well, I know it got one person. So, but I'm just thinking like maybe Sony itself game wise kind of plateaued towards the end of the year.
They don't put out stuff, so they had, I think, Gran Turismo Sport was their latest first-party thing that they put out last year.
Yeah.
I believe.
Late summer, I think.
I could see like God of War, like hyping up to PlayStation.
Yeah,
again.
they've been more of a first half of the year company now, and they've been coasting off third parties for a lot of it. But I was just like, you're going against the Switch and the X at that time. It makes sense that your sales are down.
Yeah.
I would like to see Monster Hunter's numbers and see if that did anything.
There was a bundle, right?
I think so, yeah. Actually, it was a pretty cool looking bundle. So I'd like to see if that boosted it up anymore. I think that's one of the last with God of War. Now that we know a certain release date for another game, I think God of War is going to be the last kind of like kick before it kind of plateaus.
I'm going to get PlayStation to play that.
Not Spider-Man? You don't think Spider-Man's going to...
I don't know. We'll see.
I think Spider-Man's going to...
I can see Spider-Man,
bring a lot of people in. And then Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Last of Us 2.
Yeah, but Death Stranding is like 2026. So.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And it'll be on PS5.
On top of that, the PlayStation 4 sales have hit 76 million sold. So, as we know, I think the Switch just hit like 16 million, something along those lines, which it's officially past the Wii U. So in the 9 months or 10 months it's been on the market, it is past the Wii U in sales.
Which is why 90% of the Wii U's game catalog is now available for Switch.
Yeah.
It's coming up on the GameCube next. That's what's going to knock out next, and the original Xbox and the N64. So the Switch is going to take care of those. Xbox hasn't released numbers in like 4 years for the Xbox One, but the estimates put it at like 30 to 35 million sold for Xbox One. So yeah, PlayStation 4 is at 76. And it is about to catch up to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. That's the next thing that it's going to jump. That's crazy. That is a lot of, like, it's going to probably pass 100 million. Like, it's going to get to that area, I think.
Sure.
As long as this year they're not like, and PlayStation 5.
Yeah. I don't see that happening, but...
I don't know anymore. I have no clue. But, yeah, just crazy sales number. A lot of doom and gloom for this console generation before it launched. Everybody's like, this is the last one. Yeah. It's over. You know, and then sales have been better than any console generation. Well, not any, but like...
The games help.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you add them together and all that stuff. Like, the sales have been insane. Yeah, and there's just so many... like first-party studios putting out really good content. There hasn't been that many first-party misses for Sony this generation, I don't think. And I think Nintendo is following that right now with the Switch. Whereas with the Wii U, there was kind of a couple stumbles of games. It's like, what is this tennis game? It was horrible. But with Switch, so far, I think they've been consistently good releases. So, good games. Your console will sell to gamers because that's your primary market. And some people lose sight of that sometimes.
Well, also Switch is doing the smart thing now where they're like spacing out their releases and putting big release rather than just like, here's 30 games, which like Kirby, Donkey Kong, and Mario.
Yeah, that and this is kind of the first time in a long time they have third-party support, which is a scary thing. They got Dark Souls, they got Wolfenstein coming to it, they got Doom, like...
They got the dumb cardboard gimmick.
That's going to sell like
I know,
crazy.
It looks awful.
I mean, if I had a kid, I would absolutely have bought that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they did hands-on stuff with it this week, was the first time the press got to do it, and apparently it's cool. Specifically the robot was apparently cool.
Whatever, not for me.
But anyway, good job, Sony. You sold a bunch of stuff. Staying in the realm of Sony, we're going to talk about the PS4 firmware update 5.5 beta, which, of course, as betas go live, you sign that NDA, and a day later, it's all online. So here's some...
Effective.
Yeah, here is some updates that we know from it. There's probably going to be more, but there's a bunch of little things, and then there's a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
You can now delete notifications that you receive, so they're no longer floating in your dashboard.
That's
Thank
a huge
God.
one. That's a huge one for me. I
Thank
hate
God.
seeing those stupid things.
It is so annoying.
I still have just like the game you installed last year.
That and like even messages that you can't delete.
Yeah.
are really annoying. Like somebody, like you kill someone in Fortnite and they like message you and they're like, "Oh, you're a pussy," and then like I just have that as my notification.
Well,
every
also
time.
just like the guy you've never played with joined a party.
yeah,
It's just like
or left a party.
cool.
I don't care.
That sounds awful.
You can now hide games that you've purchased in your library. No longer beta/demo will keep taunting you with games. So before, if you played a beta, it just was there forever.
That's
Man,
how Steam is, and
I
it
feel like
drives me
these are
nuts.
just things that they should have fixed years ago.
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You can now turn on notifications through a shortcut once friends become available online. That's cool. So I guess if somebody becomes online, you could be like, hey, add them to this party really quick, or whatever it is you want to do with that person. You can now create teams on PlayStation 4 for various social activities, such as participating in a tournament or setting up a chat. Cool, I'll never do that. And then the big one, this is the one everybody's been talking about, you can now enable an option that allows every game to run at a higher resolution on PlayStation 4 Pro and super sample down to a 1080p television. So now every game on PlayStation 4 Pro will be 4K scaled down to their television.
Yay.
So they'll all look better.
That's cool.
Yep.
So that is an awesome update. Certain games have had that in the past, but this patch is basically like a back end thing where it's like every game will do it now.
That's cool.
They've already had boost mode, which just kind of
Yeah.
randomly increases frame rate and load times, and then this is, I guess, the next step to that. So really cool. Oh, Fortnite dailies have reset, guys. So this is a really cool.
Couldn't care less.
This is a really cool update that I'm excited for as somebody who has a Pro, loves their Pro, having gone back to a regular PlayStation to test out some streaming stuff and been like, oh my god, there is absolutely a difference. That is very noticeable. So very happy about this, and I don't have a 4K TV yet, so
I got both.
it fits perfectly. Next up, PlayStation Plus. So we have our 6 PlayStation Plus games, 7 if you include Starblood Arena, which is going to be free this month as well. And they are Knack. We did it. Knack is free for everybody, so you don't need to meet Knack anymore. You'll know who he is already.
Free toilet paper for everyone.
Next up is Rhyme, which was
That's cool.
Which was almost my number 10 slot game of the year. Spelunker, Mugen Soul Z, Exile's End, and Grand Kingdom, which a lot of people were freaking out about Grand Kingdom. I don't know what that game is. A lot of people were very excited. It is a cross game that's also on PS4, so you get 4 PS4 games basically this month.
Cool.
Yeah, Rhyme is huge, and Knack is, I think, nice to give to people because I bet a lot of people are going to play it ironically and be like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Like people are overreacting like crazy. But that's a good month.
Not bad.
Yeah. Next
There's
up,
no like real heavy hitters. I know Rhyme's a big one, but
it's
like,
a big. That's
you
definitely
have to
not
kind
a
of be
heavy.
like in the know to know
I
it's
think
a
Knack
big deal.
is kind of big, mainly because what is that? 3 months in a row that we've gotten a AAA game. Like we got Deus Ex and the Batman Telltale game or whatever.
Next AAA.
Yeah, it's Sony Japan.
I'll agree to disagree.
Is Shadow Colossus AAA?
Oh yeah,
It's the same.
It's like-
it's the
it's
same
like
thing.
15A.
All right. Let's talk about Red Dead. Let's talk about an actual AAA game that is not arguable here. Red Dead 2 is coming October 26, 2018. It has officially been delayed from their original 2017 date or time frame, and then spring, and now it's coming October. I think this is huge, mainly because I think we're going to start seeing all the other release dates now that people know when Red Dead's coming out.
I think a few more games will either bump up or bump back. The ones that are kind of like maybe March, maybe April, or like maybe June, July, something like that. I think it's going like obviously Red Dead left, so there's this big gap now where other games can survive. So they're just gonna like fill that. And now every game that was like maybe fall is just like shit. Red Dead's here, so I think we'll see a lot of games at E3 with like November release dates or September.
Yeah, I agree.
I think October is just dead for the most part, unless you're like a horror game or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. This is huge for that reason. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed again, to be dead honest. I'm not like...
Nah, I
don't feel locked in with this date, personally.
I do. Now that they mentioned a specific day, I'm pretty sure that they'll hit it.
Yeah, I don't know. Final Fantasy had an event for their day, and they delayed it afterwards.
Well, this is Rockstar, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I do agree. I think like Spider-Man, now they're going to be comfortable picking a date for Spider-Man because I do think that they were worried about Red Dead and like Detroit and stuff like that.
It doesn't surprise me at all, and it feels like I didn't want it in the fall, but also it makes sense because I didn't want another God of War on top of Red Dead, on top of this, on top of that, on top of Spider-Man. Like, it's too much when you want to sit back and enjoy the games.
Yeah.
Unlike last year where it was just like, this is the best experience ever, but I got to hurry up because the best experience ever.
I loved last year as far as all the games and stuff that I played. It burnt me out so much that like
I didn't realize it until December or January where I was just like, oh.
Yeah. That's how I'm like, Yeez really like that game. I can't even like turn it on. I'm not like, ooh, can't wait to go back to that. I'm like, man, that was an exhausting year still. I'm trying to recoup. So obviously big news. Anytime Rockstar announces anything that they do. So,
but yeah, I think October's just dead now. Any game that was
horror games,
any game that was sort of gonna like release in that time is just like, nope. 2019 it is.
I agree. Let's stick on the delay topic with Yakuza 6 Song of Life being delayed until April 17th. We are, I guess, as a compensation for this, we are going to get a demo of the game February 27th, and your saves will transfer over to the normal game. How do we feel about this being 3 days off of God of War?
You're not going to have the same audience. I mean, I know they're crazy, stupid action games. God of War isn't as mindless, I guess, as the other three have been. This seems like a little bit more scaled back and more narrative driven. So I don't think you're going to hurt the same crowd. And Yakuza is just going to sell like a certain amount regardless. So you could really plug it anywhere.
You don't think anybody was going, I was going to get Yakuza, but now that it's next to God of War.
Nah.
I think there are people, but not a significant amount for it to matter.
I think the bigger part is the demo. I think that's going to capture a lot of people because you can. That's the thing with Yakuza games is that over the stretch of like a 30 or 40 hour period, you have a bunch of highs and lows. But if you do a demo, it's obviously going to have something over the top and ridiculous, and people are going to go,
yeah,
maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play a demo of it, and it's cool that it carries over.
Yeah, it's like the Danganronpa demo was awesome doing that. The Resident Evil demo was awesome doing that. So anytime they do
people,
that stuff.
I think people underestimate the value of demos.
I agree.
Yeah,
I know there are a lot of work to do, but I think they pay off personally. But apparently, companies don't because they stopped doing them. But now they're coming back. I honestly think PT brought the demo back.
I don't know. I don't want to debate that, but.
PT brought the demo back from the dead as it went to the graveyard.
We stopped doing unpopular
opinions. The Dragon Ball Fighters game, like the demo.
Yeah, betas for that help.
Shitty. The actual gameplay.
But like, it feels like the only people that get to do demos, like actual demos anymore, are people in the media. So
and people
now that they're bringing it back, and like I know that gets a lot of click views and stuff like that, but it's nice to let the actual consumer demo the game instead of just reading their favorite person play it.
I agree. Finally, Sony CEO is stepping down April 1st. So this is an interesting one. Kazurai has been their CEO for 6 years, almost to the day of April 1st, when he first assumed the role. He's going to remain in the company as a chairman, though the CFO is going to be taking over and taking his spot. Which is also interesting because there is a fake Kazurai Twitter account that is one of the best Twitter accounts on Twitter that constantly makes jokes at Sony and Nintendo and Xbox. Whenever there's news, they make gaming jokes about it. And he announced a few months ago that he was done this year. He's like, this account's been doing way better than I ever thought it would. It's been great. It's a lot of pressure. He's like, so this is going to be my last year doing this, and then the real Kazurai is going to step down, which is kind of a
Illuminati confirmed
prophecy in and of itself. But cool. Walk out while you're on top.
Sure,
that's the best way to do it. You did the Ridge Racer. And you got giant enemy crabs going on,
and it's nice too to have someone leave, and it's not for like a political reason, and it's not for like
me too reason.
Oh yeah, that too. But like. And it's not like a company did, or like one of their sub companies did bad, or sales were down. Like he's just comfortably like, hey, I'm probably just really old, and
it's kind of like Jack Tretton with the PlayStation brand. He took the punches when it was at its low. He brought it up. They did the PlayStation 4 launch, huge success. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like, why leave when you're getting punched? Why not
Yeah.
leave when you won? And then, Sean Layton taking over there and doing a really good job, I think. So, we'll see how much it shakes things up. Now, this is Sony, not PlayStation. So this is, television, all this stuff that I don't pay that much attention to in the grand scheme of things. But it is important because it is a shakeup at a company that owns PlayStation.
Some of the different vision can affect a lot of things. So,
oh yeah. Let's move into some comments from last week and some questions. Whatever.
And we're back.
And we're back. So Zach Yoder, I've been saying Yonder forever.
Yeah.
Just like the whole World End thing. Says, I really enjoyed Doki Doki. Talking about Doki Doki Literature Club.
Sorry.
One of the best games from last year. I'm still recovering mentally and emotionally. Also, when Kellen plays it, I think it'd be really cool if you guys did a spoiler cast. I agree, and I want to set that up because that is a really good idea, actually.
Okay.
So we'll try and pry Kellen to play it.
Yeah, spend 3 hours of your life.
Hey, man. We'll try to pry him away from Rainbow Six Siege or whatever it is he's doing. Try to get him to finish that, and then maybe we can record one of those in the next week or so, because that is a really good idea. And I said that, we've talked about it a lot off camera, but it would be fun to do that stuff on camera, and then, of course, having Kellen's new input into it could kind of shake it up. And
I hate that game.
You didn't even play it. Next up, World End says, by the way, I also played Doki Doki. Here you go, Todd. And I don't see the hype.
Hey.
It was a cute little thing, but that's it. In a year like 2017, that game would barely be a visible note. Barely readable on the 347th page of the book in 2017 gaming. I disagree. Mainly because it was so different, it was so unique.
Yeah.
And when there's 20 great shooters, like, if you're not huge into shooters, I guess, like, you really only have one or two standouts from the shooters. Like, you're not going to be like this shooter and this shooter and this shooter and this shooter, It's nice to have something that's a different genre and a different spin and a different take, especially because when, like I said, you're playing all these RPGs, which last year had so many RPGs and these open world games, just having a nice little condensed 6-hour experience.
This game just
great.
bored the shit out of me, like, from the get-go.
Your setting for playing it was the worst possible setting.
If I booted that game up by myself and started playing it, I would turn it off in 10 minutes.
I don't think you would.
It's just so boring.
I don't think you would at all.
It's an acquired taste. I'll be the middleman here. But obviously, I think a spoiler cast would help kind of allow us to discuss why we put it on our list versus it's one of those games where we can't talk about it much. So it's one of those believe me, you'll love it sort of things, and you spend a couple minutes and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of those things you have to be like, it's like 6 hours, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. If you hate it at the end of it, sorry I wasted 6 of your hours, but please.
Well,
just
there's
do it.
also like extra stuff we can show to kind of tie it all together. So like a nice rug. So
next up, the Valkyria Chronicles. I wasn't sure what that game was, etc., etc. Apparently, 1 was on PS3, 2 and 3 were PSP games and are different stories and much lower budget. But VC4 is a true faithful sequel to the first one.
Yeah.
So Kellen brought up that only one of the actual last games came here, and the other ones were, I guess, Japan only. And I guess because they're PSP games, there has been some PSP games that have been ported that are really good. Like they did Birth by Sleep from Kingdom Hearts was a really good port to PS4. Final Fantasy Type 0 was another one that was a PSP game. And you can tell because like the environments are smaller and stuff like that, but they still look nice and they still play fine. So I'm saying that they could do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking more into this game. Kellen said that he has the PS3 copy. So I'm going to ask him to let me borrow it.
I don't think you'll like it. It's not a
That is why
it's
I'm
not a
borrowing
Kevin
it
game.
and not buying it. So I'll hop into that and let you know how I feel. But yeah, I agree. It's probably not going to be positive because I don't think that
it's just not a you game.
I agree.
It's like Doki Doki Literature Club with me. It's just not a Todd game.
Next up, with Paragon shutting down and games like Destiny bound to someday, how do you think nostalgia will play into the current day gaming youth when they get older? So this is really interesting. I don't know if you've ever thought about this. When I think about video games like past that I love, and I think about, Star Wars Jedi Academy or Mech Assault or James Bond Nightfire or GoldenEye or, you know, all these games nostalgically, I can go play them. You know what I mean? If I wanted to. We've done it before. We've set up like the LAN party type thing and we've played these games. There's now these living games that, like, Fortnite is a great example. These Battle Royale games are going to shut down one day. And kid growing up playing Battle Royale game is literally never going to be able to play Battle Royale. Like, they're going to have to explain it to people and just be like, trust me, it was cool. You know what I mean? So how do we think that nostalgia is going to play into the next kind of adult generation?
I don't know. I mean, that's the same as me describing Phantasy Star Online to you.
Yeah, or like any MMO, like World of Warcraft or anything like that.
I don't think it's as bad. I mean, there's enough like first-party titles and single-player games, stuff like that, still being released, and multiplayer things that aren't based on a system, like an online system. That I don't think it'll be any different. There's obviously more. I just mentioned Phantasy Star. He mentioned MMOs. Obviously, there's a lot more. There's going to be Destiny, whatever, until they're done with
like
them.
you can still play those.
I think
games on
Destiny
private servers and stuff.
Yeah, but I think Destiny has like good nostalgia like value to it. You know, they come up with like pop figures, like the characters are very like relatable and people.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you could own a figure to a game that just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. I don't know. For me, as I feel like our generation, and I've talked about this before, like our age group is more nostalgic than I think any other age group is going to be, because we grew up right at the time where internet kind of grew with us a bit. So like YouTube popped up and we're like, oh, I can look at all these things that I haven't been able to. But kids now, if they want something that they've had before, it's on YouTube and it's always going to be there. Like it's always online for them, and they never lose stuff. Whereas we were the only one that like lost stuff and then it came back. And that's how we have like,
or just like misplaced a memory card, and you're just like, well, shit.
Yeah, that's how we have like these Nickelodeon things coming back, and now we have Power Rangers movies and all this stuff that happened that's kind of from our generation. And I don't think any other generation is going to have that the way that we lost everything and then it all came back at once. And we're like, what do we do with Legends of the Hidden
maybe
Temple?
a few years older than me is when games started being like actually good. When just like Nintendo and on versus like Atari, it's like I can play Pong now, and it's like cool, man. So yeah, just a little bit older than me and beyond is probably where you get the nostalgia. And it's like games were cool then, and then somewhere between my generation, maybe yours, and probably after is when games were like cool now, and it wasn't like, oh yeah, that nerd plays video games every night, and now it's just like, yeah, we all play whatever, like Halo at night. That's when it was just like the cool thing to do, sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that much different. Obviously now, sort of like Todd said, you get a lot more than just a game. Obviously back then, maybe you had like a Mario lunchbox sort of deal, or maybe a game had like a cool t-shirt that came with it.
Some pajamas.
But now it's just like you can buy the pop lineup of all the people. You can buy the soundtrack. You can buy, I don't know, like the Steam version of the game might just have all this other stuff. You can buy the DVD that goes with it of the making of the game. Wallpapers everywhere. It's a lot. So
I think the nostalgia is good for like games like League of Legends or Destiny or things like that, where there's very like notable characters in it. I think that has nostalgia. But obviously you're not going to come back and they're not going to re-release these games. You're not going to come back and play these like years later. I don't think it has like the Mario nostalgia or the Zelda or the Final Fantasy VII. I don't think
it's going to be hard for companies to bank on people when they get older. Yeah. The other thing is, I feel like younger generations right now are used to not owning things, and we're still not. Like, for instance, their music, like they don't have CDs and you know all the stuff. All their music's digital, and technically it could be taken from them like that. All their movies are digital and could be taken from them. So I don't think the idea of them just losing their games to it's gone now is going to be that big of a deal for them, as once again us who are used to, I have this thing and nobody can take it away. You know, we had CDs.
I think this will be more a problem like come in the next like 5 to 10 years when like things like if League of Legends ever went down, like that's weird. That'll be like crazy. The first like crazy hit, or World of Warcraft, like when that eventually goes down.
I'm
like,
so shocked that hasn't gone yet, because it was supposed to. Like they were supposed to be done with it at least.
Yeah,
and then
like
now they're like, we're bringing back the old one.
They're bringing back the old one, and they're adding like another expansion, basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But when things like that big, like monumental, like just purely online games, like shut down, I think that'll be like the first time you see this like weird kind of like
empty void.
Well, there's some people
put
that
$1,000 into this game.
That's all they play, and that justifies $1,000 somewhat.
But that'll just be gone one day.
Yeah. So that sucks for those people because they're gonna have to migrate back to just like single person experiences. So
it's interesting. It's just interesting to think about.
Yeah. I don't think there's a problem with it right now though, but I think there will be eventually.
I always just think about, once again, I'm gonna bring it up every chance I get. PT. Love that game.
Yeah.
That literally doesn't exist to get anymore.
Right.
And all those PS4s are going to break. Like, they're not going to last forever. Like, that game is gone, technically. So, I don't know.
Was it ever here?
Yes.
It was a demo.
It was an amazing demo.
Really got me excited.
Yeah, changed the landscape of video games by not releasing.
Next up, let's talk about remasters in honor of Shadow of the Colossus. What are some of the best remasters ever?
Street Fighter Arcade Edition.
I mean, that's not a lie. Especially if you're talking about 2. Are we just doing one by one? Or,
I mean, whatever.
The one that jumped out in my mind, because remaster, like, it's kind of like a cloudy mess as far as what's what. I consider, at least, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green to be one of the best. Just because I'm old enough to at least play the original one, and then when that one came out, I was just like, oh, this looks like infinitely better, and you get all these new things in it, and that's how Pokemon's always been. It's like the next game, a few more items, or a few more things that you have access to. Next game, a few more things, and it's just like, now I'm getting the old game with all the new features, and it's updated. Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah, for me, that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was really, really well done. Obviously, it could have been better because the old game's physics don't really click anymore because they use the new game to it could have been better. But, gosh, when a game looks the way that you think it looked, and then you go back and play it, and you're like, this looks like trash. But when the remaster looks the way you thought it looked, I think that's when you did a good job.
Yeah.
And I think Crash Bandicoot absolutely fits the bill as far as keeping everything intact and then just updating the that's all you need to do is make it look better, really.
Yeah.
The gameplay is perfectly fine.
I think my favorite one is probably the God of Wars when they did it in like 2013 when they re-released them.
They did the whole collection.
Did
the They did like the Saga or something, redoing the PSP ones as well. Yeah.
I think that was really cool to play through those again. It was like the most fun I had, like nostalgia wise, like going through games. I got done and I was like, oh yeah.
Then there's also like just adding stuff to old things, which is always nice, like Golden for Persona 4. Golden adding way more than they needed to, but that was nice of them to do.
Another one that's probably the best, I think, at least at the moment, because Shadow's not out. Resident Evil Remake is probably my top one, for sure.
Very good. There's also, gosh, there's so many. Like the PlayStation 3 era really remastered a lot of PS2 games, which is really nice. But like seeing them now on the PS4 is where it's really a big deal. Watching that huge jump. There's so many games I want remastered, and we can do that as a separate topic some other time. But yeah, the redoing horror games typically look really, really well.
Especially Resident Evil when they stick to the fixed camera sort of scenarios, because it's creepier now when you notice more details and they can buff up the sound and stuff like that.
Backgrounds are so good.
I would say now that going back to PS1, PS2 horror games like that, fear factor is kind of way died down because the graphics just haven't kept up. But now when it's the darks are as dark as they should be, and the sound's way up, and the little details that you can pump out now with something as strong as the PS4 Pro or Xbox One, make it scary again. So you get that factor back up compared to playing like the old crappy looking horror games and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then there's also like cel shaded games just age really well, like Wind Waker looks
Well,
so good.
I was
when
gonna
you-
say as well, Okami HD
that's
looks
another good
like
one.
pristine, and that game. I'm not gonna say it's all visual, but it is very much known for being visual
Man, I
because
kind
it's
of
got.
forgot about that game when we were doing something else. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I agree. Like certain games lend themselves to being
Yeah.
remastered really easily, and I actually think fixed camera horror games and cell shaded games are very
Well,
much.
if they would do Jet Set Radio, that would look amazing
man,
in
that would be
4K.
sweet.
So
yeah, it really would.
Okay.
All right. If you have any questions you want us to go over on the show, please leave them down below as we move into the releases for this week.
Yeah.
Starting obviously with Shadow of the Colossus, PlayStation 4, February 6th. Holy moly, this game looks beautiful.
Yes.
People are loving it. It's I think it's the highest reviewed game right now on Metacritic.
Wow.
it ought to be.
Yeah, I think it tied what Persona 5 had last year, which is obviously very, very good. They remade the whole game. It looks beautiful. There's 3 different modes, which is like the standard mode. Then if you have a pro, you can do frame rate mode, which puts it in 60, or you could do cinematic mode, which adds like this motion blur to fur, and it just looks really, really pretty. I was not going to get this game. I was going to wait for the discount. I was like, whatever. And then the reviews started pouring in. I started watching videos of it. I started getting a little nostalgic for the Shadow of the Colossus. And I was like, oh man, got to get that special edition. So now I'm ordering the special
I'm almost
edition.
scared about how much I'm probably gonna like playing the remaster of this, especially with top-end PS4, top-end TV. Like, I've just got everything lined up for it, and it's gonna
be
feel
great.
real good.
This and God of War like really make me want to get a PlayStation 4 Pro now.
I fully understand. And then the fun thing about this is they've added content to this
Yes.
game, and nobody knows what it is. And that's so interesting. So reviewers have had it for a few weeks now, and there's coins that you collect in this game. And by the time this goes live, maybe we know what they are. I don't know. But there's coins that you collect in this game, and nobody has got them all, apparently. And nobody knows what they do. So they're in specific things, too, which is why I don't think anybody has them all. There's no, like, keeping track of them and how to get them. But, like, Time Trials has some coins. So, like, you need to do time trials to be able to get them, and you need to find them in the open world and all this stuff. And the consensus rumor idea is that there is a Colossus that was cut from the original game that you get to fight if you get all these coins.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Nobody knows because nobody's actually done it yet. So maybe by the time the game launches, we'll know. But if that's true, that might be enough for me to try and do that, even though it seems hard.
That sounds awesome.
That was the cool thing about the buzz. If you remember, like Resident Evil, when it had the demos and stuff like that, they're like just that one mystery kind of unknown thing, and that's what's good and bad currently about having such easy access
video games.
access to like YouTube, Twitch, stuff like that. You have all these different networks of people like trying to find the thing, and it feels really rewarding when you find it first and you're able to release the video or whatever and get all the views, and then you see the IGNs and Kotakus and whatever else of the world showing like, hey, here's what that thing was.
Yeah, the Resident Evil one was cool.
Yeah.
With the dummy finger and making the laughs happen and all that stuff. I did that. That was good. It was a good time. Next up, Civilization 6 Rise and Fall for PC coming February 8th. Dragon Quest Builders coming to the Switch February 9th. This is the Minecraft, but with actual RPG stuff.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Hey, there's a wall
there. The Switch this is probably going to be the best place to play this one.
Sure.
It was on Vita and I think PS4 before, but Switch is probably the best place to do it. And 7 Deadly Sins, Knights of Britannia, coming to the PlayStation 4 February 9th.
Ah, yeah.
Todd's favorite anime.
I love this anime so much.
I don't understand.
Haven't watched it.
It's so good.
Me and Todd watched one episode, and I was like, we need to shut this
English
off.
and it's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how most people watch anime.
No.
Yes.
Most white people,
I
maybe.
don't know anyone.
Yes.
I can guarantee you there's more Asian people.
You're
that's fair.
you're my only friend that watches them in English.
I thought you were just going to stop at only friend.
No.
Oh.
You're my only friend. Oh, okay. That's it for this episode of the Press X Podcast. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you for being here. Todd.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being here. Nick.
Sure.
And thank you so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.